What are you doing? He's so ham-handed in an attempt to get out of this. It's just funny as and I have to. I apologize to Uncle Rico and Who Are These Podcasts. I don't want to step on any toes, but this is just necessary. I have to do this. All right, let's start it. John getting pulled over. I believe it was his registration had expired 6 months ago in another state. And he moved to Florida, and this cop is like, your Reggie's 6 months expired. So let's take it from the point of view of the cop pulling over John. There's the Mercedes.
Hi there, Officer Care with Cape Coral Police. We just pulled over your tag expired 6 months ago.
Yeah, I just moved here from California. I got to go to the DMV. I just got my Florida driver's license.
Okay, so 6 months ago, any reason why we didn't renew it?
Oh, I just got here. I was in California. I drove from...
Sir, so listen to me.
Yeah.
Back in April, when you were in California,
yeah,
why didn't you renew your registration?
I wasn't asked to yet. I didn't get a thing in the mail yet.
You don't have to.
All right, but usually I'll get
License and registration.
Could you pause that, please? No one told me. No one told me. And it's like he tried to make it sound, see, this is John. He just has to make excuses. He can never accept responsibility for anything, even a traffic stop. Your Reggie is 6 months expired. I just moved here. Yeah. Well, what happened the 6 months before you moved here? You were driving around unregistered for 6 months in California. No one told me. No one told you. It's called being an adult, John. Being an adult. Grown up. This guy's 60 years old. And he doesn't understand that you have to register your car, that when you move into another state, you have a certain amount of time where you have to transfer your registration, your car registration, into the new state you're living in. You don't just drive around with your old state's license plates on. There's a law against that after a set amount of time, especially if they're expired anyway. Like you don't do that. You don't get your Florida license and then go, well, my car has to be registered to Florida too. And holy shit, I'm 6 months over my registration expiration date from my California. But he just has to keep yammering to this cop, and thank God the cop is a no-nonsense. This cop would be classified as a prick. This is a no-nonsense guy. He's not here for a conversation. He's just doling out tickets. And John, he's got to talk back. He's got to try to be like, well, I just moved. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse why your Reggie is 6 months expired. And the biggest, thank God, this cop, like many people in 2025, has no clue who John ever was. Howard Stern show, Jay Leno, announcer, writer, none of it. And this cop doesn't give a shit. So the more John mouths off, the more this cop is like, yeah, I bet you shut the fuck up and let me tell you what the deal is here. So now he's given him the license. He understands that that telling him he just moved to Florida isn't going to get him out of this. So we continue. Be ready on that pause thing there, Sean.
Okay. See your California registration.
I'm trying to see if I can add something.
No, it's a 2014 Toyota.
Pause. 2000. Here's a scrap of paper. No, it's a 2014 Toyota. Here's some of my writing I did on The Tonight Show. Here's some of my jokes that made it to the monologue. Yeah, registration, please. Registration, please. His hair is a wreck. Like, he goes out like that. I understand you're going to be home all day. Maybe you're getting a Uber Eats or a DoorDash delivery. You're not going to brush your hair or anything. But he left the house. I would assume if you leave the house, you're going to want to maybe run a brush through your hair, something like that. He's a disaster when he goes out. So he's eagerly looking for this car registration that he doesn't have. Again, adulthood, John, growing up. Whenever I get a new insurance card, because it seems like insurance companies, especially now, if you just pay online and it's already auto payment, you don't really pay attention to the bills that come in. I see statements. I see your Allstate bill has been prepared, and I look and I see the amount, and it'll go out on this day. I don't have to. What year is this? Let me fill out my check. I'll get a money order from the bank and fill it out. No, it's 2025. So all that shit gets paid, but there are some physical things they send you. And even those, I could print out an insurance card online. It doesn't have to be mailed to me. But they mail you the insurance cards, and it's like, here's your new one. You've been renewed. And that day, that minute, I take it, I go out to the truck, I open the glove, and I take the old one out and put the new one in. And my glove compartment isn't full of shit like my last vehicle's registration and whatever other cum rags and baubles he has falling out of his glove compartment. Now, I will say, in my 20s, of course, the whole car was a mess. Insurance, I don't know, did I even pay it? I get it. In your 20s, John is a 60-year-old man pawing through his glove compartment for the car's documentation, and he can't find it. The cops should have wrote him up for not having a registration, not the same as unregistered, which, by the way, he's technically unregistered here. But, you know, it's called being a grown-up, John. It's called the most basic of responsibilities for an adult. And by 60 years old, you have been driving, getting a license, getting a registration, and getting car insurance for your entire life. At 60, it's not new that you find out you need to register your vehicle or get a license or get. This is just the most basic of adult responsibilities if you drive. So once again, he's a mess, and he just can't keep his mouth shut to this cop. All right, roll him.
Could be in my trunk. Okay, go in my trunk.
Pause.
You're not gonna get
And you can rewind it a little bit because the cop says something right where we paused. Yeah. So he tells him it might be in the trunk. Can I go in the trunk? Why on earth would your registration be in your trunk? It's back there with Pocky's body. Why would your regi be in your trunk? You would have to take it and put it in your trunk, knowing it should be up front. So how does it end up It's something that has to be accessed whenever you get pulled over for a traffic stop. You need the registration, you need insurance, proof of insurance, and your license. 3 things, not 18 things. 3 basic things that you should have on the ready. You know where they are, easily accessible. You hand it to the cop. It's one more thing that the cop goes, oh, I would imagine someone responsible enough to have the proper documents within arm's reach, quickly put them in my hand, maybe is responsible enough to drive, and maybe the speeding was something that they don't normally do because they're responsible. Maybe they don't normally roll through a stop sign. Maybe the fact that their registration expired 2 days ago, let's say, but they have all their stuff. They seem to be responsible. Maybe I'll let it slide. 6 months expired. My regi's in the trunk, maybe. Here, there's this piece of paper. His hair's in disarray. I just moved. Like, it's everything you don't do. You and the cop are working together here to chill each other out. He's just trying to get everything he needs from you to get through this traffic stop. And you're trying to keep him at ease by coming up with everything he wants and let's get this done with. Not John. He's a rolling disaster area. What an idiot. Listen to the cop because he wants to get out. He says, it's in my trunk. He goes, can I get out? Cop's like, no. You're not getting out of the feet. What do you think? All right, let's watch this again. I love it.
No, I have it somewhere. Could be in my trunk. Okay, go in my trunk.
No, you're not going to get out of the car.
Okay. Could be in my trunk.
All right, John, I'll be back.
All right, John. Now John's like trying to think, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Cop goes back. He's going to look up John and Reggie and write up everything he needs to write up. And he comes back to Stut Joe's car.
All right, so here's that back.
All right, pause. This is hilarious. Now he's on the phone, which again, I got to tell you, cops hate when people get on the phone during a traffic stop. First of all, no reason to get on the phone. The cop will see this as being disrespectful. And I don't care if you're out there saying like, well, doesn't make it any different. That cop is going to see that as disrespectful. Your attention should be on this traffic stop. It should be important to you what's going on. The cop is coming back to the window now after determining what he's going to do with you. That should be of paramount import to you. And John's on the phone. And of course, here's what John did. John looked up a cop. John looked up a cop that lives in that area. He probably met some cop at a bar when he told him he was Stuttering John. And the cop was like, hey, here's my number. You ever need a cop, here. Thanks. And then John thinks, by the way, after the cop's already been to the car and comes back, there's nothing you're doing. There's nothing you could do. And have some sense as to, feel the cop out. He did not feel like the kind of cop that's going to be into like not writing you up at this point. He's been kind of curt with you, and you've been an idiot that can't supply him with the necessary automobile documentation, Mr. Melendez. So getting another cop on the phone What? What did John think? How did this play out in John's head? He's like, all right, hold on. He's coming back. He's coming back to the vehicle. Let me, yeah, hi, officer. No, it's a cop friend of mine on the phone. Oh, you want to talk to him? Here, yeah. Hey. Oh, Stuttering, John? Oh, my God. I didn't know. All right, okay, hold on. John, oh, my God. All right, pull off. Gagia, John. I'm a huge fan. That's how it played out in John's head, in his fantasy world head. That's how it played out. But truth be told, this cop ain't even listening to John. So listen, when the cop comes to the window and John's on the phone, he's trying to convey to the cop that he has a police officer on the phone. And listen how he puts this. It's retarded. Watch this.
The cop.
All right. So,
Do you know him?
all right. So this here is a citation for having an expired tag. For in a couple days, it's gonna be more than 6 months.
Pause.
Okay.
He goes, yeah, it's the cop didn't even ask him. Hey, who you on the phone with? Hey, what are you doing on the phone? He just goes, just a cop on the phone. A cop from up here, from here. So it's a cop from the area on the phone. And then, do you know him? Do you know what? The nameless, faceless cop on the phone? Do I know him? Like, again, John playing it out in his head. Do you know him? Know who? Officer O'Flanagan from Florida Police Force. Like, and my favorite part of this is the cop doesn't. John might as well have not said a word. The cop's like, do you know him? And the cop's, so here's the violation. He doesn't give up. So there's John's attempt to weasel his way out of this ticket by calling some cop he met at a bar in Florida since he moved there. Just, this is, short of pulling a gun out of your glove box, this sure is a bad way to handle a traffic stop. John is trying to match wits with the cop, and John can't match wits with any of the vegetation you see out his passenger window there. A blade of grass, a dandelion, a weed. John would lose an argument, debate, or the matching of wits to any non-human, the mailbox. I would bet on that mailbox in this frame that John could not outwit the mailbox. So let's see how this continues. John getting pulled over in Florida.
Okay. Because why that's significant is it becomes you get pulled over twice, and it could actually become criminal. All right. So back when you got pulled over in April, you should have been told that your tag expired back then.
Oh, I got pulled over in April?
Yep. You got a ticket.
For what? I don't remember.
Do I need to put you in for a driver's re-exam?
No.
Pause again. So I can't. So remember, this is October. This is October of 2024. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months. So the cop is informing John because he sees it on his computer and everything. It's not, the cop's opinion that John was pulled over for speeding in April. This is just 6 months earlier. And the cop informs him, like, well, you should have been told that your registration was expired when you got pulled over in April. Now, John's tack here, his next brilliant scheme is to tell the cop he doesn't remember being pulled over. What is he thinking? How does that help his cause? Maybe he thinks the cop is sympathetic to retarded people, and John obviously is retarded because he can't remember a mere 6 months ago getting pulled over. I remember I remember every time I've been pulled over. I shit you not. I remember every single instance where I was pulled over. I can't tell you the exact date, but if I had been pulled over 6 months ago, I would know exactly what the cop was talking about. Yeah, speeding. I remember that. I was up on whatever road. But John thinks he's just going to be like, yeah, I don't remember that. And that somehow gets him out of not knowing his regi was expired months ago. Like 6 months expired. You would assume no one told you. He already said no one told him. He didn't get the letter from DMV that it was expired. And now the cop's trying to tell him that 6 months ago when he got pulled over, a cop would have said something. I don't recall. Yes, I don't recall. So he's using the I don't remember defense here, which just doesn't work because the cop then says, back it up just a hair. The cop says, do I need to put you in for a driver? What does he call it? It's like if a cop pulls you over and you don't seem right in the head to drive, they'll kind of review and you'll go through like a class and have to maybe take a written test again. I don't know what the criteria is, but the cop is suggesting, do I have to put you through a driver review? Because if you don't remember getting pulled over 6 months ago, maybe there's something wrong with you and you're not physically or mentally qualified to drive a motor vehicle in our state. So everything John tries just gets him into not worse trouble, but it makes matters worse, especially with the cop. Check it out.
Oh, I got pulled over in April?
Yep, you got a ticket.
For what? I don't remember.
Do I need to put you in for a driver's re-exam?
No, I just...
You don't remember? That's only 6 months ago, sir.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just moved here.
Well, I understand that. So
Yeah.
you should remember that you just moved here.
Okay.
However, back in April, you got pulled over for doing 66 miles an hour and opposed to 50 over here on Burnt Store.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So this here is a non-moving violation, okay?
Yeah.
So there's no points associated with this. So you need to go to the DMV now and make an appointment and get that registration transferred over to the state of Florida.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just take this to the DMV or no?
Could
No,
you
that's not-
pause
that's
and back it up to where the cop starts talking again about the tickets that he's going to show John and let him know what the problem is or what he's got to do. Like cops will instruct you, like, okay, here's what you need to do. Take this down to motor vehicle, get your regi up to date, do this, do that. Like cops will do that. And you just nod. This is your job at this portion of the traffic stop. Your job is to nod and an occasional like, yep. All right, cool. Okay, will do. Thank you. Be safe out there, officer. You too. That's how you deal with this. If you do have any questions, anything they give you, here's my parking. I got a parking ticket in Greenville because tickets are pretty much the price of parking in New York. You get a ticket. So I'll just park because Greenville's crazy. There's plenty of cars. And sometimes, especially on a weekend afternoon, it's very hard to find parking. So I'll park in a spot in one of these lots that are reserved for like a gym in the area or something. And I'll get a ticket. And I'll pay the ticket because it's like paying for parking. It's not that much. But like I wouldn't be like, what do I do? I don't. And here's scan the ticket with your phone and everything comes up and there's no ticket that a cop will hand you or that you'll find on your windshield that doesn't have a graphic description of what you need to do on it and various options on how to remedy and dispose of that ticket. Online. You go online. Tickety, oh, boom, you're done. If you have to appear, it'll tell you, you must appear for this ticket at, here's the address, here's the date. You must call this number to get the date of. Some of them, depending on how serious they are more complex than others, but you will never be at a lack of information as to what to do because all that info is on the ticket. So when the cop's talking, because here's another goal, folks, that any reasonable person completely understands. If you've been driving for even maybe your rookie year, you don't know this. But after that, and especially at 60, and everyone knows this, I defy anyone to say that I am not speaking the God's honest truth right here. One goal, another goal you have when you get pulled over is to make this as quick as possible. From the time that cop comes to your window to the time he walks away and you drive away, your goal, it's a balancing act, is to make that as short as possible, but not try to make it as short as possible to the detriment of other things, like the respect of the cop. You're not just going, get the fuck out of here, I'm leaving. No. But you're not adding anything extra in there. That's a terrible thing to do. You got the ticket. He's handing it to you. Take it and leave. Any protracted discussion can only do harm to you. There's no good coming out of it. If anyone needs to exercise his right to remain silent, it's Stuttering John Melendez. You have the right to remain retarded. It's impossible for you to give up this right. You can call an idiot on the phone. If you can't find an idiot, one will be supplied to you at the expense of the court. So, he starts, and John starts talking and asking him questions. This is insanity. 60 years old. All right, roll him.
Okay. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So this here is a non-moving violation, okay?
Yeah.
So there's no points associated with this. So you need to go to the DMV now and make an appointment and get that registration transferred over to the state of Florida.
Okay.
Okay?
So I just take this to the DMV or no?
No, that's not good. That's a ticket.
Oh.
However, you need to bring your car down to the DMV so you get the registration transferred to the state of Florida.
Okay. And
Before it becomes 6 months old.
And how much is the ticket for?
So that one there's 3 ways you can take care of that. Option 1 was pay the fine of $113. Option number 3 allows you to show that you fixed your registration by getting it registered in Florida within the 30 days and bring it to the DMV, and then you pay a court cost is all. Or option number 5 is like a court hearing. Court cost is like $10.
Oh, okay. So I just got to get everything done within 30 days, then take this, and then I just have to pay.
Well, you got to get your registration done way before then.
Yes, so I got to go there and get the registration, and then take it, and then it'll be reduced to $10.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
All right, good luck. Drive safe.
Pause.
Make sure we do the speed.
He's an idiot. So I take this to motor vehicle. No, that's the ticket, you dumb. I would not be against, at that point, the cop dragging John out through his window and beating the shit out of him with a nightstick or a baton and tasing him and then pepper spraying him in the face. I would think that would be totally justified at this point. What an idiot. The cop is explaining it to you. Again, yes, sir. Got it. Cool. Take it easy. Be safe out there. But no, so I take this. No, that's the ticket. You got to get your regi. So within 30 days, I do. No, you got to take care of that before 30 days. Yeah. Then how much? The cop isn't the ice cream man. In many cases, I was surprised this cop did know what the fine was, but cops don't know fines or fees, and you don't ask them that. You just go, all right, what does it matter to John right there how much that ticket is? What does it matter? When a cop hands you a ticket, the fine is whatever it's going to be. And asking the cop has no bearing on it. Oh, really? Can I bargain that down to $50? All right. You knew about the bargaining statute, huh? Well, you can't fool me, officer. Well, okay, $50. The cop doesn't want to sit there like the ice cream man telling you how much a push-up pop costs. And then he goes through the rules. He's got to be corrected. He sounds like a blithering idiot while he's doing it. And then this is it. Like you'd think, right? You think the cop's walking away. He said, have a good day. John got his dumb questions out. This is what you're waiting for. This is the moment of the traffic stop that every driver waits for. Him going back to his car and you pulling away like you're on your first driver's test, by the way. Arm signal, blinker, mirrors, you pull out real slow. Everyone knows that's how you pull away from a traffic stop. But this is the moment. And what does John do? Let's watch.
Speed limit. Speed limit is 40 miles an hour, not 55 that you were doing.
I thought it was 45 or 40.
This here is 40.
Oh, okay.
So because you're new, well, not new because you've been here for at least 6 months that I know of.
No.
So, all right, let me talk.
I just moved in July.
Well, you got a ticket in August or in April.
I know, that's why I didn't remember.
So,
like, not everyone.
Listen to me, okay? The roads are 45 miles an hour.
Okay.
This road and that road right over there are 40 miles an hour.
Okay.
There are signs all over that say 40 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
45 is 45, not 55 either.
Okay.
Stop signs mean stop signs. Not California rolls right on through them like you did up in Diplomat. I've been behind you this entire time for 2 miles now.
Yes, I know.
All right, slow down.
I know. Yes, I know. Then why did you roll through stop signs and speed? Yes, I know. I've been following you only backwards. I was following you from the front. That was a prime example, folks, of what not to do, how not to interact with the police officer. Not in the same way that Brennan's traffic stop went. You know, that was also a very poor way to handle a traffic stop. It seems like these key players in the Dabbleverse really aren't that good when it comes to traffic stops and just obeying authority and paying attention to the rules.